here's the way they shape up. Gene Segura opens up at second base. Chris Owings had been out for a while, is back at short. A.J. Pollock, one of the outstanding young players, out with serious injuries, is back. So is Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Jake Lamb at third. Wellington Castillo behind the plate. Yasmani Tomas will be in right field. And our old friend Socrates Brito is in left with Zach Greinke on the mound. Kenta Maeda getting ready, 13-8. Should he pick up that 14 victory, he would tie Ishii and Ryu, most wins by a rookie pitcher, until you go all the way back to 1979, where Rick Sutcliffe broke in with the Dodgers and won 17 in his first game. So the Dodgers have a chance to pick up another half a game with a victory tonight, or I guess as they would say in Vegas, the Dodgers can play with some house money right now. They can't really lose much ground. For the D-backs, they have a little two-game winning streak. They've also won 4 of 6. Gene Segura will be starting off. Segura, a terrific player from the Dominican Republic, hitting .320, 12 home runs, 51 RBIs, third in the National League. Segura started off the year earlier playing Chicago. There was a terrible collision on a fly ball. Kyle Schwarber, Dexter Fowler. The ball rolled around loose, and Segura had himself an inside-the-park home run. So the right-hand hitter checks in, and the first pitch down and away, ball 1. 1-0. Maeda pulling at the dirt to get it just right, and Segura checking in. Against Maeda, Segura is 4 for 11. That's a .364 batting average. Kenta in the sunlight, then steps into the shade, and his fastball down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Gene Segura, 5'11", 175, 26 years old. Originally signed by the Angels. Came up to the Angels 4 years ago for a cup of coffee. The next pitch down and away. And interesting how that worked out. The Brewers traded Greinke to the Angels for Gene Segura. And then they both wind up in Arizona. Segura, I'll tell you how good a hitter he can be. A couple of years ago, he went 6 for 6. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and that's taken for a strike. Of course, what was always interesting, the least known Alou brother, that would be Jesus. He not only had 6 hits, he had 6 hits of 6 different pitchers. Now the 3-1 pitch on the way. Segura off speed, and he's way out in front of it. And the count 3-2. So the Dodgers hosting Arizona and Zach Greinke. Segura back up and waiting. 3-2 the count. Into the windup goes Maeda. And his 3-2 pitch is swung on, slapped down the right field line, slicing as it goes foul, and kicks up into the seats. Josh Reddick over, but no play. So Segura walking back to the box. Reddick going back to his position. In looking at Arizona, the fellows who have the big numbers, well, it would be Wellington Castillo, Jake Lamb, and Gene Segura. They're the 3 that Chip Hale would certainly rely on, as Chip leaning on the railing, taking in the ball game. 3-2 the count. Into the windup goes Maeda. Here he comes, and that's whacked into left field. Base hit. Try to cut it off as Howie Kendrick, and does. And Segura a big turn, and just does get back to first. That was a little extra turn, and he almost paid the price. We'll take a look at the Dodgers defensively. That was a nice play by Howie to cut it off. Gonzalez and Utley, Seager and Turner, Kendrick, Peterson and Reddick. Grandal behind the plate handling Maeda. So a leadoff single, and the batter now is the shortstop, Chris Owings. Owings has had only 2 at-bats against Maeda, 0 for 2. Chris had a bad shoulder, and he is back to playing, and of course that makes Arizona that much better. First pitch by Maeda is a breaking ball down and away, ball one. Chris Owings out of Charleston, South Carolina, lives over in Gilbert. He was a first-round pick by the D-backs out of high school back in 2009. 5'10", about 180, 25. Owings swings, fouls it right into Yasmani Grandal's mask. Whoa. Of course, we saw one that was really one for the books yesterday. Hector Sanchez had the ball bounce in the dirt and come up and hit him under the mask. And then after a while, we found out and told you the story that Sanchez always seems to get beaten up behind the plate, so much so that his teammates called him the Magnet. Well, Grandal just took a heavy lick. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Chris Owings. Maeda at the belt, throws to first, and Segura back on the bag. Arizona is a kind of a ball club that can score a lot of runs. They are a base stealing team, 3rd highest number of stolen base coming into the game, 117. So they had to watch Segura. Out of his stretch goes Maeda, comes back to Owings. He swings and doesn't get it. Couple of notes about base stealing. If Arizona gets the opportunity, they have stolen third base 26 times. I mean, that's really out of hand. So the Dodgers are going to have to watch Arizona offensively very, very much. And we'll repeat, they have scored more than 8 runs, 8 or more, in 10 of their last 20 some odd games. So Owings waits with A.J. Pollock on deck. The 1-2 pitch on the way, slow breaking ball, slider, swung on and missed, and down goes Owings. So 1 out as Owings strikes out. A.J. Pollock coming up, and I'll tell you the truth, there isn't one person who has anything to do with baseball who isn't glad to see A.J. back in business. A Gold Glover, a wonderful player, and then of course in spring training hurt himself, and if we get a chance we'll show you what he did, but you have to remember it was in spring training, so that's an idea of what makes him trick. He went to school at the University of Notre Dame. A.J. takes big slow curveball in for a strike, and the count 0-1. When he's healthy, look out. Last year the only player to have at least 35 doubles, 20 home runs, and 35 stolen bases, and that was A.J. Pollock. So A.J. 6'1", 195. The strike 1 pitch on the way. Maeda delivers, and that's on the inside corner, and the count 0-2. So Pollock's going to take a little walk. Give you an idea, they missed him all year, and in his first 2 games, he didn't do much at all. He had a fractured right elbow. And then all of a sudden he warmed up. After going 0 for 8, he went 3 for 5, 3 singles, 2 stolen bases, scored a couple of runs, and the A.J. Pollock was back. Strike 2 pitch instead, a throw to first. Here's what happened to A.J., and this will show you he's coming down the line. And remember, this is an exhibition game. There's going to be a play at the plate, and he's going to go head first, and that's when he wrecked that arm. So a mere exhibition, meaningless game, but that's the way he plays the game. So it's great to see him back. Strike 2 pitch on the way, fastball away, and the count 1-2 to A.J. Pollock. Last year, 39 doubles, 6 triples, 20 home runs, 39 stolen bases. I mean, he really is a team photo all by himself. He's a Connecticut boy. 1-2 the count to A.J. Pollock. Maeda set, comes back, fastball low and inside. That runs the count to 2-2. So Maeda gave up the leadoff single to Segura. Got Owings to strike out. Waiting on deck, every pitcher's nightmare, Paul Goldschmidt. Pollock waiting. He was a shortstop in high school. He also played basketball and soccer. The pitch to him way out in front of a breaking ball, and down he goes. So Maeda using that slider very, very well. Strikes out 2, and now here's Paul Goldschmidt. Paul Goldschmidt against Maeda is 4 for 11. That would be a .364 batting average. Goldie right around 300 with 20 home runs, 81 RBIs, and he always seems to wear out the Dodgers. 24 home runs, 74 RBIs in his career against the Dodgers. So Goldie, as they call him, big right-hand batter. Maeda ready and deals. Little slider for a strike, and the count 0-1. The thing that has to rub the Dodgers the wrong way, the fact that the Dodgers drafted Paul Goldschmidt. Instead, he opted to go to school at Texas State. So the big guy waiting, the strike 1 pitch on the way. Maeda deals, good fastball down, and the count 0-2. Goldie is 6'3", a good 245 pounds, 29 years old on the 10th of September, from Wilmington, Delaware, and lives over in Scottsdale. Here's the strike 2 pitch on the way. Maeda ready, here he comes, slider low, ball 1. Goldschmidt struggling a bit this year with runners in scoring position, hitting .270. He's had other years, .299, .338, .302, last year .340. 1-2 the count. Segura at first, and a throw to first. Gene back on the bag. So Paul Goldschmidt checking at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. A look by Maeda, aware of Segura at first, and the pitch is punched on the ground to the right side. Utley feeds Segura, and that'll be that. So Seager on the bag to reduce Segura. No runs, 1 hit, and a man left. And at the end of half an inning, no score. Justin Turner at third, Adrian Gonzalez at first, Grandal the catcher, Reddick in right, Kendrick in left, Peterson in center, and Kenta Maeda on the mound. On the mound, no stranger here, Zach Greinke. He was 19-3 for the Dodgers last year. He has that remarkable record here, 29-5, and an earned run average of 2 at Dodger Stadium. Chase Utley checks in, swings at the first pitch, hits it to the middleman on the right side, and the out is immediately recorded. 1 away. We'll take a look at Arizona defensively. Goldschmidt and Segura, Owings at short and Lamb at third, Brito, Pollock, and Tomas in the outfield, and Castillo behind the plate handling Greinke. 1 pitch, 1 out. And the batter now is Corey Seager. Seager, in the only time he saw Zach Greinke over in Arizona, he went 2 for 3 against him, including a home run. Seager batting .313. Greinke ready and delivers. Fastball uppercutted and missed, and the count 0-1. Couple of baseball notes about Greinke. Arizona has a very good chance of winning if he is the starting pitcher. They've won 15 games when he starts. Fastball is high. But there are differences from this year and last year. This year, Greinke's allowing more line drives. Hitters are pulling the ball more. And about 10% fewer ground balls. 1-1 pitch, swung on, smoked into left field for a base hit. Brito over to cut it off. So Seager, a line drive single to left, and with 1 out, the batter will be Justin Turner. So Seager just staying on the ball, line drive single. Justin Turner coming up. Justin Turner 2 for 5 against Greinke. Had 3 walks yesterday. That's a career high. 24 home runs, 76 runs batted in. Oh, there's a fan with a Dodger Greinke shirt and Dodger cap taken in the game. Seager at first, Turner at the plate waiting. Zach ready, here he comes, and it swung on and missed, and the count 0-1. Greinke has given up 38% more extra base hits this year than last. He has always been and continues to be outstanding against the National League West. Greinke ready, strike one, pitch swung on and missed. In the East, he's 22-4. In the Central, 33-15. And against the National League West, 33-9. He has a lot of trouble against the East and a little bit of trouble against the Central. Seager at first, one out, first inning, no score. Greinke right back, fastball off the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Turner trying to keep something going. Adrian Gonzalez on deck. He's had trouble against Greinke, 1 for 6. Zach looks in, getting a sign, right foot on the rubber. Now he's ready. The 1-2 pitch to Justin Turner is swung on, hit in the air down the right field line. Slicing foul in pursuit and not able to make the play is Yasmani Tomas. So Turner will come back and try it again. When you look at Greinke and you break his great career down, and we have a chance to do that since Tomas is going to run out of real estate. He is 24-9 in April, 24-19 in May, 26-20 in June, July under 500, 18-23, August 29-15, and September 32-10. All right, Zach set at the belt. Another look over at first. And the 1-2 pitch to Justin Turner. Greinke deals, swung on and missed, and Justin goes down.
First baseman, number 23.
2 out in the first inning. Adrian Gonzalez coming up. Gonzalez hitting .293. Hitting .294 in his career against Arizona, and that means 34 home runs and 107 runs batted in. The Greinke has Seager at first, 2 out, first inning, no score. Adrian 1 for 6, checking in against Greinke. Right-hander over the top, and he's low, ball 1, 1-0. No score, we're just starting. When Greinke was with the Dodgers against the National League West, he was 21-1 with an earned run average of 1.8. Here's his 1-0 pitch on the way to Adrian. That's taken high and away. Breeze is blowing the other way, right to left, and blowing reasonably well. The average time and distance going left to right. Greinke looking down. In case you wonder, that only loss against the West, that was against Colorado 3 years ago. 2-0 pitch on the way, and that's low. 3-0 the count. Zach as a low hit complete game with Yasmani Grandal waiting. He had a 1-hitter for Kansas City at Seattle back in 2009. 1 hit, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Zach ready, another look over at Seager, and the 3-0 pitch taken for a strike, 3-1. Greinke had one of those little unusual, it's not a surprising thing, but he's had 4 strikeouts in an inning. Most strikeouts in a game. He had 15 against Cleveland. The Greinke set at the belt. His 3-1 pitch coming up. Gonzalez hits it late and foul into the stands. down the left field line. 3-2 the count. So with 2 down, Goldschmidt will be off the bag, and Seager will be going on the pitch. Three balls and 2 strikes. Dodgers facing a Cy Young winner. Greinke won that award back in 2009. So Seager will be going. 3-2, 2 out. Greinke said, here he comes, swung on, little roller to the middleman. That's Segura, who flips the first in time, and that will do it for the Dodgers. Like Arizona, no runs, 1 hit, a man left. Here comes Jake Lamb, followed by Wellington Castillo, and then Yasmani Tomas. Jake Lamb, well, he is slowly but surely not only taking over at third base, but slowly and surely giving you an idea that he will become a star. The Dodgers already know it, and Maeda especially. He's 6 for 10 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Jake is from Seattle, Washington, 26 years old come October. Good size, 6 feet 3, 220, and hits left-handed. So Jake Lamb checking in. Maeda with the right side of the infield loaded up. And we go to the second, no score. First pitch inside under the hands, ball 1, 1-0. Lamb in his very first big league day in the big leagues. That would be 2014. Went 1 for 4, driving a home run, and gave his parents the ball from that after the game. Jake's a good one. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Into the windup goes Maeda. Back with a pitch off speed, and way out in front of it is Jake Lamb. Lamb was signed by the D-backs in the 6th round, and Maeda has been burned by him, so been very careful. Jake went to school at the University of Washington. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way. Lamb swings, pulls it to the middleman on the right side. That'll be Justin Turner, and that'll be that for Lamb. So the Dodgers had a couple of outs to the right side. That was log jammed, and now they do the same thing for Lamb here in the second. And the batter is the big catcher, Wellington Castillo. And with that name Wellington, it's only normal that they would tag a nickname. And he is called Beef Wellington. He's 5'10", 205 pounds. He's hitting 5 straight with an RBI. Overall, 12 home runs. First pitch of the right-hand hitting catcher is taken for a strike, and the count 0-1. Wellington, he's from San Ysidro in the Dominican Republic. Signed by the Cubs back in 2004. Strike 1 pitch on the way. Maeda deals. That one is a little low. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Maeda and Greinke locked in, no score, second inning. Castillo with 17 home runs last year and 50 runs batted in. Right-hander waiting, and the 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on and hammered foul. Second level. Boy, did he get all over that pitch. Now he turns and says to Les Diaz, was that a strike? And I'm sure Diaz said, and how? Castillo, when he was 17, he had offers from the Phillies, the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, and the Cubs, and he signed with the Cubs. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Wellington beats it foul into the dirt. He came up in 2010 with the Cubs. He was with him for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and finally went to the Mariners and to the Diamondbacks. Maeda, deep in thought, looks into Reed Grandal. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Castillo waiting with Tomas on deck. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. Kenta deals and bounces it in front of the plate. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wellington Castillo, pretty smart guy. When he came over from the Dominican, the first thing he did with the Cubs is to please place me with American-born players on road trips so I could improve my English. He also studied at home, and he's a very valuable piece of the Diamondbacks. 2-2 off speed, drops in for a strike, 76 miles an hour, and Castillo just frozen at the plate and walks away.
Right fielder number 24, Yasmani Tomas.
So that would be the 3rd strikeout for Maeda, and the batter is Yasmani Tomas. So a head down Castillo as Tomas checks in. This year, the Dodgers are facing some tough Cuban hitters, but then again, they have one of their own. Tell you why in a moment. The first pitch to Tomas, ball 1. The Cuban home run leaders. Yoenis Cespedes has 27. Yasmani Tomas, 27. And then the Dodgers have Yasmani Grandal with 22. Jose Abreu. Kendrys Morales has 22. The 1-0 pitch in for a strike, and the count 1-1. Yasmani Tomas in 2014 signed a 6-year deal with Arizona, so he figures to be around a while. 1-1. Tomas, right-hand hitter, takes low. Maeda working very carefully. He has struck out 3, given up 1 hit. Kenta's 2-1 pitch on the way, swung on, hit in the air to left field. Kendrick on the run will pick it off. So the D-backs go quietly, and at the end of an inning and a half, oh yes, hooray! Didn't realize your hands were that big. Oh.
Your greeting quote. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/LA-loves-Vin.
Bottom of the 2nd inning, no score in the ball game, and Grandal takes ball 1. Yasmani having a tremendous year for the Dodgers, hitting .233, but 23 home runs, 61 RBIs. He's homered in 2 straight games, and he takes a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. So Grandal, he'll be followed by Reddick and then Kendrick. Grandal 1 for 10 in the pass, shows bunt, runs up, takes it high. Of course, with the overshift, that means Chris Owings is all alone, not only on the left side, he is forever from third base. So if Grandal could ever get a pitch away and just put the bat on it down the line, he's got a gift base hit. 2-1 the count. Yasmani swings right through the next pitch, and the count 2-2. Grandal, a powerful switch hitter. Most of his power as a left-handed batter. 23 home runs, 20 left-handed, 3 right-handed. Greinke, feet together, looks down to get a sign. Now the 2-2 pitch. Instead, he thinks better of it and backs off the rubber. Zach checking, now ready, and his 2-2 pitch over the top, fouled away off to the left. Still 2-2. So Yasmani Grandal leading off 2nd inning. Each side with a base hit, nothing else. For Greinke to get involved in a scoreless battle, he certainly could just remember back to 2008 into 2009. He had 43 consecutive scoreless innings. 2-2 pitch on the way, off speed, outside corner, strike 3 called. A whale of a pitch. Wow. That will be the 2nd strikeout for Greinke. And the batter, Josh Reddick. Reddick, the proud possessor finally of a home run as a Dodger. checking in again, Zach. Greinke, feet together, looks down. Reddick, left-hand hitter at the plate, and a strike. 0-1. Reddick, 9 home runs, 1 with the Dodgers. And the strike one pitch on the way. Josh swings, pops it in the air to shallow center. Late start, but coming up to catch it is Pollock. And we have 2 down in the second inning. Tough time of day. If you're in the outfield, if you're in right field, you fight the sun, the setting sun. If you're in center, 1 minute you're in sunlight, then you're in shade. So it is a tough time of day, and to look in at the wedding cake and try to pick the ball up, that's a chore right now for Tomas out there in right field. Look at that. Sun is right in his eyes. So here's Howie Kendrick. Fouls a pitch back, and the count 0-1. That was the one thing, and of course Babe Ruth was so great he would never play in the sun field. 0-1 the count to Kendrick, hitting .272, a tremendous year for the Dodgers, playing anywhere in the lineup and on the field and doing well. Takes low one away. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 out, second inning, no score. Giants lost. Giants on the road trip, 5 games as a team. They're hitting .099. They've just stopped dead in the water. 1-1 pitch, fastball, swung on and missed. 1-2. As we mentioned earlier, it's pretty hard to figure out. Oh, sure, they had some players injured, but when they were injured, they seemed to be playing very well. And before the All-Star break, the Giants were the best team in the major leagues. Since the All-Star break, they're the worst team in the major leagues. Here's the 1-2 pitch, high and away, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Greinke trying to win his 13th, but remember last year, 19-3 here, and an earned run average of 1 point something. 2-2 pitch, low and inside, ball 3. And in his career pitching in Dodger Stadium, 29-5, and an earned run average of 2. Wow. 2 down, bases empty, 3-2 the count. Kendrick the batter, Jock Peterson on deck. Dodgers have the second best home record in the National League. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Kendrick, swung on, fouled away. The Dodger record at home, 44 wins, 27 losses. Who's in front? You got that right. The Chicago Cubs. They are 51-20. By the way, it's Labor Day. Did a little bit of research for you if you want it. 3-2 pitch on the way, and Kendrick swings, misses, dug out of the dirt. Tomas, they throw down to first by Castillo, backed up by Tomas, and down goes Kendrick. So maybe if you're interested, we'll drop in a couple of things for the kids, really. And it acts as a free agent. Maeda hesitates as he reads Grandal. Now to the windup. And the pitch to the plate taken for a strike, 0-1. Socrates was a classical Greek philosopher, probably one of the first founders of Western philosophy. Strike 1 pitch on the way, changed, chased, and missed, 0-2. From what we understand, the thing about Socrates, he had a friend of his go to the Oracle of Delphi, say, who is the smartest man in the world? Here's the strike 2 pitch on the way, high, ball 1. And the Oracle said, Socrates. So Socrates could not believe that. So he went all around trying to find someone much smarter than he was, and he failed. And I'll tell you why he thought he failed. Here's the 1-2 pitch coming up. Brito, left-hand batter, swings, and down he goes with all his philosophy. Anyway, going around, he kept asking other men just how smart they were, and he finally realized he was the smartest man because he admitted to himself he didn't know anything. That was his theoretical theory. So that's Socrates, and this time Socrates Brito. And here's Zach Greinke getting a few boos. I started to say it before, since it is Labor Day, and of course today it's just a big holiday, but if you have youngsters, maybe you'd like to tell them a little bit about what Labor Day is all about. Into the windup goes Maeda, bases empty, 1 out, fastball strike. The first celebrated U.S. Labor Day was September the 5, 1882 in New York. 10,000 workers marched from City Hall up to 42nd, went on up to 92, and had a big picnic and a concert. Greinke swings and misses, and the count 0-2. What I didn't know, and looking it up, Canada is said to have originated the idea of hosting a day honoring the labor movement in 1872. That's probably something a lot of folks don't know. Strike 2 pitch to Greinke, takes ball 1. Oregon, believe it or not, Oregon was the first state to celebrate Labor Day as a legal holiday back in 1887. Maeda ready, Greinke waiting. The 1-2 pitch on the way, taken off the plate, 2-2. The decision to make Labor Day the first Monday of September, that was approved in June of 1894. One of the reasons that labor and 155 million workers in America had that holiday, you don't realize how hard they used to work in the late 1800s. Breaking ball is foul back. American workers averaged 12 hours a day, 7 days a week during the 19th century, and this is the tough part to acknowledge. Children 5 and 6 years old worked in the factories and in the mines. Here's the 2-2 pitch coming up to Greinke. Maeda deals fastball low, ball 3. So, knowing all that hard work, 12-hour days, 7 days a week, they had what they call the Adamson Act. That was passed in 1916 to establish an 8-hour workday. 3-2, the count to Zach Greinke. Maeda ready. Here he comes, and he drops it in there. Strike 3 call. So after all that laboring to stay alive at the plate, Greinke strikes out and becomes strikeout number 5. By the way, they still have a Labor Day parade in New York, but it seems like it's really just become a holiday. Here's Gene Segura, single to left in the first inning. A remarkable infielder and a wonderful hitter. Segura takes ball 1. He singled in the first inning. He is the first Diamondback to ever open a season with 5 straight months of 30 or more hits. I mean, that's how good he is. 30 or more hits. In August, he had 37. He had 37 in April. The next one, a strike. 1-1 to count. He had 30 in May, 32 in June, 30 in July. Boy, that's piling up a lot of hits, isn't it? Gene Segura. He had 170 hits. 1-1 pitch on the way, taken for a strike. 1-2. Maeda working nicely, gave up a leadoff single, nothing else. Retired 8 in a row, striking out 5. The 1-2 pitch swung on, hit foul off to the right down the line. You get 2 strikes on a hitter, he's in a lot of trouble. However, the top 10 2-strike hitters in the National League mentions Gene Segura. Martin Prado, number 1. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Gene. Swung on, fouled away. 1-2. Anyway, and by the way, when I give you little notes about, let's say, Labor Day, I'm not trying to show you I'm smart, because I'm not. I just go look it up. But I figure youngsters might be watching the game and maybe learn a little something. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Segura chases one away, hits it back to Maeda, and that's the inning. So after giving up a base hit, he's retired 9 in a row. And at the end of 2.5 innings, no score. Hello, little man. But he gets aboard. Corey Seager. So Jock checking in. Greinke into the windup. Zach delivers. Fastball a little high and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Peterson hitting .240 against the league with .381 against Arizona. Greinke ready. Comes right back 1-0. Fastball swung on and missed. Greinke's fastball will go anywhere from 92 to 97. He also has that sinking two-seamer. He has a change, slider, curveball, and a cutter, which seems to be everybody's pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Greinke's 1-1 pitch over the top in there. Quickly 1-2. Peterson in a hole at the plate now. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Greinke has 3 strikeouts. Maeda has 5. And we're only in the bottom of the 3rd. Zach ready. Right-hander turns. 1-2 pitch on the way. Half swing on a pitch low. Apparently he got a piece of it. Foul tip and strikes out. So 4 strikeouts for Greinke. And Kenta Maeda coming up. Zach Greinke, his dad, a middle school teacher, and his mom was a school teacher. They are both retired now. When Greinke played baseball at Apopaka High School in Florida, he was an infielder. He was a very good hitter. He didn't pitch at all. And he admired Mark McGwire. Fastball in for a strike. Greinke in high school had a .400 batting average, and he hit 31 home runs. Here's the strike 1 pitch from Zach. Comes over the top, another strike. He signed a letter of intent to go to Clemson, but the Royals signed him instead. Signed him, I should say. Signed him to a bonus of $2.5 million. Strike 2 pitch. Maeda takes way off the plate. 1-2. They say when Zach was about 10, he played tennis and golf in the 14-year age group. When he was 4, he played first base because he was the only kid who could catch the ball. Well, that'll do it for Maeda. That's 3 strikeouts in a row. 5 strikeouts for Greinke, and 4 of the last 5 batters have struck out. So 2 down. Chase Utley grounded out in the 1st inning. Once again, they load up the right side. The middleman is Segura. Greinke, feet together, pointing to the foul line. Now to his windup, and the pitch to Chase Utley, taken for a strike outside corner. 0-1. Two down, 3rd inning, no score. Into the windup goes Greinke, and his strike 1 pitch is taken a little low. 1-1. So the right fielder, Tomas and Reddick, they're out there with pathways of shadow cut by lines of sunlight. Tough time of day, without a doubt. 1-1 to count. Greinke over the top, fastball pulled foul, and I think the bat cracked. Yep. So Utley was jammed on a fastball, and they'll have to get a new bat. 1-2 the count. Utley is still very, very quick on a ball inside. Boy, does he get his hips out of the way to open up and lash that ball. All right, Chase back up. Greinke waiting for him. The 1-2 pitch. Utley holds up on a pitch of the dirt. 2-2. We were talking about Greinke as a hitter. They had a high school tournament in Atlanta. You had X number of at-bats to hit X number of home runs. He clinched the competition without using all of his at-bats. So then he started batting left-handed. I mean, that's impossible, but he did, and he hit a home run. Tossed the bat in the air and walked off the field. 2-2 pitch is low, ball 3. So Zack Greinke has really been blessed. He's 6'2" and 200, born in 1983. So he'll be 36 years old the 21st of October. Zach ready, and his 3-2 pitch is lashed foul off to the left upstairs. There is nobody, I mean absolutely nobody, third base or even a good portion of shortstop. Owings way over to his left, but they've been pitching inside on Utley. 3-2 the count. 2 down, bases empty, no score. On a 3-2, pulled foul down the line. Plate umpires Laz Diaz, Doug Eddings, Stu Sherwater, and Jeff Nelson. Laz Diaz behind the plate, been an umpire for 18 years. Born in Miami, Florida. Worked the 2007 World Series. He was with us when we were in Australia playing those exhibition games with Arizona. 3-2 the count. Here comes Greinke. Utley swings and misses, and down he goes. So look at Greinke. He's retired 6 strikeouts. He has struck out 5 of the last 6 batters. And named Happy Felton, who did a pre and post game television show before and after every Dodger home game. May the 12th, Carl Erskine pitched his second no-hitter. Strike. First time ever sitting in the dugout with Erskine before that game, and he had the ball in his hand, kind of flipped the ball up in the air and said, "Well, Vinny, I wonder what this ball has in store for me today." And I looked at my watch and said, "Well, we'll find out in about a half hour." And I went upstairs, and he pitched a no-hitter. Chris Owings struck out in the first inning, then Pollock and Goldschmidt. We've had 11 strikeouts in 3 innings, and the Padres aren't here. Check swing strike. San Diego, while they were here, in 3 games, struck out 37 times. 1-2 to Chris Owings. Greinke and Maeda. And that's going to be hit in the air shallow, but charging is Peterson, who got a good jump. Otherwise, he would not have been able to get to that one. 1 out in the 4th, and the batter will be A.J. Pollock. Must have been a sinking feeling for every member of the Diamondbacks when they saw Pollock hurt, found out that he fractured his right elbow and was not going to play. One of their more valuable players. In fact, I would say he would be second behind Paul Goldschmidt. Owings, of course, had a bad shoulder back in 2014, so they all pay the price somewhere along the way. 1 ball and no strikes. Little low ball 2. Pollock signed first round pick 2009, and he was playing for the Diamondbacks about 2.5 years later. Two balls and no strikes. Fastball in there, 2-1. AJ played basketball all 4 years in high school, played varsity soccer. His dad played rugby at Boston College. And he plays the guitar and plays it pretty well, we understand. Mostly classic rock and alternative. 2-1. Little number out in front of the plate. Grandal is on it. 2 down. So Maeda gave up a leadoff single to Gene Segura, and he's gotten everybody since. That's 11 in a row. And the batter will be Goldschmidt, who hit into a force play in the first inning. Two down, fourth inning, no score. Fastball, 0-1, and a good one. Maeda trying to win his 14th. That would catch up with Hyunjin Ryu and Kazushi Ishii. He has a way to go to catch Rick Sutcliffe, who had 17 wins as a rookie. Hideo Nomo, Ismael Valdez, and a fellow named Fernando Valenzuela won 13 as rookies. Strike 2 pitch, low and inside, ball 1. Paul Goldschmidt, boy, what a feared hitter up against any team in the league. Ground foul outside of third, down the line. Goldschmidt has always been thought of as one of the top 3 hitters coming into Dodger Stadium. Roberto Clemente was the best one of all. Clemente, in the time that he played here at Dodger Stadium with the Pirates, he hit .377. Goldie swings and down he goes. Now that's strikeout number 6 for Maeda. That means we've had 12 strikeouts in 3.5 innings collectively. And we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, no score. Pitching duel here, Greinke and Maeda. And here's Corey Seager, and ball 1. Seager has the Dodger hit, a single to left with 1 out in the first inning. Greinke has retired 8 in a row. Maeda has retired 12 in a row. With all of that, we've had 12 strikeouts, 6 on each side. No runs and 1 hit. Segura led off with a single. Seager singled with 1 out in the bottom of the first. 2-0 pitch. Way off the plate, ball 3. 3-0 the count. Waiting on deck, Justin Turner. 3-0 pitch on the way. Swung on and hammered to right down the line. And this one's going to bounce off the wall. Picked up by Tomas, but it's a sliding double for Corey Seager. So Dave Roberts green lighted him, and Corey drives a double into the right field corner. Good pitch, 3-0, and he was all over it. So Seager is 2 for 2, getting applaud from among money would be Howie Kendrick. So Turner, Gonzalez, and Grandal now trying to pick him up. Turner struck out in the first inning. So a runner at second, nobody out. Bottom of the fourth, no score. Giants lost today. Rockies beat the Giants 6-0. So the Dodgers could wind up 4 games in front, but they have to beat Arizona and Greinke. 1 ball and no strikes. Dodgers have won 2 straight, 9 of the last 14. Trying to win their 77th game and their 45th at home. Standing in the way, Zach Greinke and the D-backs. 1-0 is down and away. Ball 2. 2-0 the count. Castillo out to do the talking. Greinke appears to be listening a great deal. Well, whatever Greinke did say, it made Castillo smile. So the catcher goes back behind the plate, and we pick up with a 2-0 count on Justin Turner. All right, 2 balls and no strikes. And the next one in for a strike, and the count 2-1. We were talking about Greinke and the fact that at Dodger Stadium, his career earned run average is 2. You know who has the best earned run average at Dodger Stadium? Yeah, you're probably right. Sandy Koufax. His earned run average 1.3 here. Ground ball to short. Seager has to hold, and the out recorded at first. So 1 out, and here comes Gonzalez. Talking about divisional opponents, the Dodgers have really worn out Arizona since 2014. Look at that. They won 35 of 50. The Cubs have mauled Milwaukee. Kansas City has done pretty well against the White Sox. The Mets have hurt the Phils, and the Cardinals over Milwaukee. But no team has pounded the other as much as the Dodgers, going up against Chip Hale's Arizona D-backs. So here's Gonzalez. They can't load up the right side, and he's late on the first pitch. 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Owings looking to the bench, and they don't want him to go across the center line. He's still on the shortstop side of the bag. Segura 10-12 feet out in right field. 0-1 the count. Gonzalez, a drive to right field. That should go all the way, I think. It is gone. That was a pitch that might have even been up out of the strike zone. And Adrian just jumped all over it. Let's take a look. Just see the location of the pitch after they continue to celebrate. Yeah, it's up. That might have been, yep, as it's shown. That was out of the strike zone. That's a pitch that I will say most of the time Adrian does not handle. But he handled that one. He manhandled it, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. Adrian Gonzalez, 17 home runs, 78 runs batted in, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. Change in for a strike on 1. Ah, yes, a home run ball. So Adrian got it. It was above the letters, and he drove it out. 0-1. 1-1. So for Greinke, small consolation. He made a good pitch. He made a high percentage pitch, against Gonzalez, but it is the big leagues. And even making that high percentage pitch, it cost him 2 runs. 2-0 Dodgers, 4th inning. Randolph struck out in the 2nd inning and lifts one to the left side. All alone is Jake Lamb and makes the catch. Yeah, that's the maddening thing about being in the big leagues. You can make a very good pitch, and big league hitters can still hit it out. Up there. And he got it. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 1 hit for the D-backs. Bottom of the 4th inning. Josh Reddick fly to center in the 2nd inning. Strike on 1. By the way, we were talking about the ERA at Dodger Stadium, and Greinke had an ERA of 2. And we said Koufax had an earned run average of 1.3. Brings up the point just how good Sandy was. He started 85 games at Dodger Stadium, and he completed 56 of them. 56 complete games. The Arizona pitching staff has 1 complete game by Zach Greinke. 1-1 pitch. Ball 2. The Dodgers have 3 complete games. All 3 by guess who will be pitching Friday in Miami. 2-1. Little ground ball. The middleman is Segura. So a high fastball is hit out. Adrian Gonzalez finds Seager at second base. Up there and out right there. 2-0. And in the 5th, Jake Lamb, Wellington Castillo, and Yasmani Tomas. Lamb grounded out in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1. Remember, Maeda gave up a leadoff single to Segura and has retired 12 in a row. Changeup misses. Ball 1. Kenta ready. Again off speed. Lamb way out in front. Coming into the inning, Maeda has made 64 pitches. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 1 hit for Arizona. And a little slicing fly ball. Seager in pursuit in foul ground makes the catch. (13 in a row). And the batter is Wellington Castillo, who struck out in his at bat. Maeda has struck out 6. Greinke has struck out 6. But Maeda is leading 2-0. Wellington Castillo. From San Ysidro in the Dominican. Cracked bat. Ground ball to Seager. And we have 2 down. That sounded like he hit with the morning newspaper. So 2 down, and Yasmani Tomas coming up. So that's 14 in a row retired by Maeda. Tomas fly to left field. And a strike, 0-1. So Maeda at the top of his game right now. 69 pitches, so here comes number 70. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tomas, in 50 games in the West, he has 5 home runs. 30 games in the Central, he has 11. 20 games in the East, he has 10. That's at his feet. Tomas, big fella, 6'1", 230 pounds. 26 years old. Cespedes and Tomas each have 27 home runs. So that's a Cuban tie. Foul back right into the mask of Yasmani Grandal. 2-2. Tomas, when he went to spring training this year, the first thing Chip Hale said about him, he needs to get in better shape. So he lost his starting third baseman job to Jake Lamb. They sent him out to AAA, brought him back, and he was ready. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fastball at 92. All right, Yasmani back up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I never thought I'd have a catcher and a hitter with the name Yasmani. There they are. Tapper up the middle. Picked up by Utley again. So that's 15 in a row retired by Maeda, but he gave up a base hit to the leadoff man. And at the end of 4.5 innings, 2-0 Dodgers.
Ceremony featuring special guests and Saturday's limited edition commemorative coin giveaway. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/LA-loves-Vin.
Howie Kendrick swings at the first pitch and grounds to short. So we have 1 away, bottom of the 5th inning, and Jock Peterson coming up.
Jock Peterson.
Peterson struck out in the 3rd inning. Outside of that one pitch to Adrian Gonzalez, pitch above the letters that he hit for a home run, which was somewhat unusual. These 2 pitchers are head on. Segura singled in the 1st inning. Arizona has not been heard from since. Seager singled in the 1st inning, and the Dodgers were not heard from until Gonzalez hit the home run. So 2-0 Dodgers, trying to make it 8 of 13 from Arizona. One and one. Looking at Arizona, what they've done, they are a mystery. I mean, first of all, they are 18 games under 500 at home. On the road, they're 2 games under 500. I mean, they have a pretty good ball club. And the big mystery is Greinke, with all his incredible ability to have an earned run average over 5 at home. Arizona trying to figure it out. Fastball at 93. Still 1-2. Interesting to watch. In fact, we were talking with Ned Colletti before the game, and Colletti had a terrific idea. You get a game like this, a former Dodger pitcher like Greinke, a very expert pitcher. Why not have a scout here and watch how he's pitching the Dodgers? And watch how Peterson hits a home run. So Zach Greinke gives up 2 home runs so far tonight. That means he's allowed 18 home runs. And the Dodgers now lead 3-0. A joyous Peterson going around the bases. Peterson now has 20 home runs. And the Dodgers lead 3-0. But it is a very good idea to have an advanced scout against a fellow like Greinke. And you know exactly how he's trying to pitch Dodger hitters. You can learn a lot more, I think, just by watching a guy like Greinke pitch. How your hitters react, what they can do. Well, we saw Peterson react. We saw Gonzalez hit one out. Maeda, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-1. Three runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 1 hit for Arizona. A leadoff single by Gene Segura. And the next 15 went down in order. Remember, Greinke's earned run average at Dodger Stadium was less than 2, and he's given up 3 runs tonight. Chased a pitch. It's over the glove, down to short. The throw to first is going to be late. Once that got over the glove of Greinke, virtually impossible for Owings to come in and make the play. So Maeda will get an infield single. And that's where the play got away. So Maeda, an infield single. 1 out. Chase Utley coming up.
Chase Utley.
We have time for a moment. Let's take a look for the Jock Peterson Marching and Society. Breaking ball, and he just went down to get it, and it carried well over the center field wall. Interesting for a pitcher like Greinke, and it might not mean much to you, but it is so important. The home runs have come, both of them, with Greinke ahead in the count. 0-1. Gonzalez, the count was no balls and 1 strike. Greinke, I thought, made a good pitch up above the letters, and Gonzalez surprised. He has a lot of trouble with that pitch, but not tonight. He hammered it to right field. And then Peterson, the count was 1 ball and 2 strikes. Boom, home run. One ball and 1 strike, the count. Utley grounded to second, struck out. Peterson still enjoying the aftermath. 2 home run hitters. One and one. Slap down the left field line, base hit for sure. Brito comes up with it. Stopping at second is Maeda. And the Dodgers now trying to go after Greinke. That's 3 straight base hits. Home run followed by 2 singles. So Utley goes the other way. Brito, a good job to cut it off, hold it to a single. And now 2 on, 1 out. And Corey Seager, who singled to left and doubled to right. That's exactly the kind of a hitter Corey is. Remarkable, he uses the whole field. Single to left, double to right. Oh and 1. Seager hitting .316. He's picked up a couple of points. Two on, 1 out. 5th inning. Jock Peterson very interested. Still talking about the home run, I'm sure. 0-1. Whoa. I'll throw it as hard as I can. You swing as hard as you can. And let's see what develops. 0-2. Three nothing Dodgers. Bottom of the fifth inning. 1 ball and 2 strikes. In the inning, Kendrick grounded to short. Peterson homered over the center field wall. Maeda had an infield single. Utley single to left. And here is Seager. No one throwing in the pen for Arizona. Adrian talking to the skipper. Dodgers could be 4 games ahead of the Giants if they can hold on to this lead. Fastball missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 80 pitches now for Greinke. Chip Hale can't be very happy with the ball club 18 games back of the Dodgers. 2-2. Change got away from Castillo, and the runners move up to second and third. I think there'd be a little meeting, Greinke and Castillo. I think there might have been a cross-up. He never even touched it, and Greinke is still at home plate talking to Wellington Castillo. It's going to be a pass ball. I don't know whether Castillo was crossed up or not, but he obviously appeared surprised and fooled. So the Dodgers get another big break. Fastball puts runners at second and third. Seager now coming up with the infield up. Statistically, we can't give you the numbers, but I know it's dramatic when the infield is up. And a high drive into deep left center. Back out the outfielder. She is gone. The Dodgers pick up 3 more and lead 6-0. So the Dodgers have hit 3 home runs tonight against Zach Greinke. Gonzalez with a man aboard. Peterson with the bases empty. And Seager with 2 men on. Let's take another look. Seager just went out to get that, and he is so strong, he was still able to hit it the other way. That's a remarkable bit of hitting. So for Greinke, he's trying to figure out what in the world is going on. I make a pretty good pitch to Gonzalez up over the letters, and Adrian hits it out. I make a pretty good pitch running away from Seager, left-hand hitter, and he buries it in the left center field pavilion. So the rookies, the greatest, Piazza with 35, Jock Peterson 26, Corey Seager 24. So 50 home runs between 2 rookies, and for Greinke, he's due to bat second, but I don't think he'll ever get a chance. They'll get somebody up in the bullpen. In fact, they get 2, Zach Godley and Silvino Bracco. 0-1 the count. For Arizona, they have to think to themselves, if Greinke, who is 29-5 in his career at Dodger Stadium, with an earned run average of 2, and he gives up 3 home runs and 6 runs in less than 5, it's a bad night. Foul back. Shelby Miller tomorrow night. Ray on Wednesday, Robbie Ray. For the Dodgers right now, it doesn't seem to matter. One and two the count to Turner. Two and two. So in the inning, Peterson homers. Maeda gets an infield single. Utley singles the other way, and then Seager a 3-run home run. 6-0 Dodgers. Giants lost by that score today. 3 and 2. Well, Clayton Kershaw is enjoying it. So is Rob Segedin. Kershaw will be starting Friday night in Miami. And he can't wait. 3 and 2. Fastball, a high drive into deep left field, and that one is gone. Dodgers have 4 home runs tonight, and we're still in the 5th inning. Gonzalez homered, Peterson homers, Seager homers, and Turner homers. For Justin Turner, that would be his 25th home run. With 4 home runs tonight, the Dodgers are really on a roll. Add 4, and you realize they've now hit 166 home runs. Here's Adrian, who grounded out and homered. So for Justin, his 22nd since June, 25th of the year. Seager, a jackpot home run, 2 men aboard. Adrian with 1 man aboard. 2-0 the count. I would hazard a guess that this has never happened to Zach Greinke. Brian Hagan immediately looks it up, and he has the answer. Yes, it has 4 times in his career. Ground ball to first. That'll be the 2nd out, so it gives us time. July the 20th of 04. August the 27th of 04. June the 3rd of 08. And Labor Day, September 5, 2016. So 4 times. But for him to give up 4 here tonight against his old ball club, that has to be a killer. High foul. Here comes Castillo. It's on the other side of the screen. Remember, the Dodgers have 2 more games with Arizona now. Then they'll go out on the road to go to Miami, then New York, and they have 4 games left in Arizona. $7-0 Dodgers. And that's a drive down the right field line. Line drive going foul. The Grandal almost hit his 2nd. So for Greinke, this has become a nightmare. Not to mention what it does to the Diamondbacks executives. Oh, and 2. Change in the dirt, check swing. Tony La Russa, Dave Stewart. When the year began, they were pretty confident. I mean, they had Greinke, Shelby Miller, Robbie Ray, and all of a sudden they lost Pollock before the year started, and it's been a disaster, and no more of a disaster for them than tonight. 1 and 2. 2-2. Well, that's Dave Stewart, who pitched for the Dodgers, with his left hand holding up the chin in the back. That is Tony La Russa, left-hand corner, the old dog. Not a happy scene. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And there's a drive to right field. That's got plenty behind it. That one is gone. The 5th home run the Dodgers have collected tonight. 3 consecutive home runs here in the 5th inning. And the Dodgers lead 8-0, and the crowd is delirious. Boy, what a beating Zack Greinke has taken here in the 5th inning. He's given up 3 runs and 6 runs in the inning. He walks out losing 10-0, and the crowd is all over him. And we'll be back. He had given up 4 home runs in a game, never given up 5, and he did it in 4 2/3 innings. Silvino Bracco comes on to pick up the pieces. Bracco's from Venezuela. Off speed, Reddick out in front of it. Bracco was just recalled from Reno the end of August. Off speed, that's whacked into left, and moving over to pick it off is Brito. And finally, the inning is over. Greinke will leave the dugout and go back to the dressing room to heal. 120 games. Let's go back to this one. There they are. Pictures on the post office in Phoenix. The Dodger wrecking crew. Adrian Gonzalez, followed by Jock Peterson, followed by Seager, followed by Turner, followed by Grandal. And meanwhile, enjoying every minute of it, Kenta Maeda working on Brito. He's working on a 1-hitter. 0-2. So a remarkable pitcher, and he truly is and was, but not tonight, as Zack Greinke goes out on his shield, being completely abused by the Dodger hitters. And a pitch that's up and swung on and missed, and down goes Brito. Kyle Jensen will come up and pinch hit, though they brought in Silvino Bracco just to get an out. Jensen just called up, made his debut Saturday in Colorado. Kyle Jensen was born in Dublin, California. Obviously Northern California. 6'3", 250 pounds, it says here. He was a 12th round pick by the Marlins in 2009. Went to school at St. Mary's College. This is his first look at the big leagues. And coming up, he only had 1 at bat. Jensen, listed as an outfielder when he was in college, he was a pretty good pitcher. Swings and slices it to right, and a fine running catch by Josh Reddick. So for Jensen, so near and yet so far, that almost dropped in for his first big league hit, but not tonight. So 2 down in the 6th inning. And the batter will be Gene Segura, who started off the evening with a base hit to left field, and we haven't heard from Arizona since. Segura hit back to the box last time up. 8-0 Dodgers. You can imagine how the Giants feel. They lose badly, a 2-hitter. They're shut out 6-0, and they go back to the hotel with some consolation. Well, Greinke's going to be pitching against the Dodgers. Wait till they find out this score. So Maeda enjoying it all. 8 runs, 9 hits, 5 home runs, and a double. And for Seager, he has a single, a double, and a home run. He has a shot at the cycle. 1-1. Foul back. Tomorrow night, we're back to the regular time, 7:10, Tuesday and Wednesday nights. And then the club goes on the road. Miami, the Yankees in New York, and 4 with Arizona. Rich Hill alongside of Clayton. 2-2 the count. Hill turned in another gem, and without any blisters, the Dodgers really feeling good. I mean, you get Kershaw and Hill and Maeda. You're in pretty good shape. Fastball takes care of Segura. That's 8 strikeouts for Maeda. Through 6, he leads 8-0.
Dodgers.com/promotions.
Bottom of the 6th inning with the Dodgers leading 8-0. Zach Godley out of Bamberg, South Carolina, coming in. Went to school at the University of Tennessee, and he was a 10th round pick by the Cubs in 2013. His first major league outing, he had been called up from Double-A, struck out 7 in his debut in 6 innings, beating the Milwaukee Brewers 8-3. So we'll see what he does against Howie Kendrick. Ball 1. Godley is 6'3", 245. Kendrick at the plate has struck out and grounded out. But it has been a truly remarkable and very unusual night. 1-1. You just can't believe the pitcher of the quality of Zach Greinke that he would give up 5 home runs in less than even 5 innings. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball 2. The Diamondbacks got Godley, sending Miguel Montero to the Cubs. What a great break for Miguel Montero. 2-1. Two and 2. Basically the toughest pitch against Godley. He has a very hard sinker. In the dirt. New ball put in play. 3-2. What's interesting is Kenta Maeda now. Maeda gave up a single to the leadoff man, Gene Segura, and he's gotten 18 in a row since. And there's ball 4. That's that classic and true story of Babe Ruth pitching a game. And Babe Ruth walked the first hitter, got into a violent argument with the plate umpire, and Ruth was kicked out of the game. Ernie Shore came in to pick up and retired everybody. Here they are now. Turner with 25, Seager with 24, Grandal with 24, Peterson has 20, Adrian Gonzalez 17, and the Dodgers have become a wrecking crew inside a pitcher's ballpark. This ballpark has always been considered a pitcher's park. Tonight, they're making it look like a bandbox. Peterson struck out and homered. 20 home runs. 56 runs batted in. One ball and one strike. And that sinker that we're talking about just missed. 2-1. He's some kind into the record book, and a small note about his debut, which was July of last year. 6 scoreless innings, 7 strikeouts, no walks. For a first-time pitcher, a modern era. From Bamberg, South Carolina, Boyd just looked it up. Population 3,600. 2 famous baseball names came from Bamberg. 2-1. 2-2. Mookie Wilson was from Bamberg. And Preston Wilson, who was such a fine player for the Florida Marlins. He was the one, Preston, his manager said his ceiling is the Sistine Chapel. Ball 3. So Kendrick at first, nobody out. 6th inning, Dodgers leading 8-0. Greinke, Bracco, and now Godley. Maeda out on deck. Fouled away. You might ask the question, how many times has a National League team had a 4 home run inning this year? Remember, in the 5th inning, Seager homered, Turner homered, Randall homered, and Peterson homered. And the answer is 3 times, twice by the Dodgers. They also did it against Cincinnati, once by the rest of the league, and that was the Washington Nationals. So Roberts always talking about pitching and the depth of pitching, and tonight an explosion against one of the better pitchers in the game, Zack Greinke. 3-2. And that's ball 4. So Godley has walked 2. Nobody out. And Kenta Maeda coming up.
Pitcher, Kenta Maeda.
Another note on Zack Greinke, and we are certainly not rubbing it in. What we are talking about is a wonderful pitcher who stumbled tonight. Now, he has allowed at least 7 runs in 4 of his starts this year. Well, in his 3 years with the Dodgers, Zack Greinke did not ever give up as many as 7 runs in any start. And he's done it 4 times, including that horrific 5 home run binge by the Dodgers. The bunt fouled away. In the big leagues, you don't take any lead for granted. There are some who would say, oh my gosh, you're winning 8-0 and you have the pitcher bunting, and the answer is absolutely. 0-1. The bunt is on. The bunt is down. It is a good bunt. A collision there. And Godley makes the play, almost banging heads with Wellington Castillo. So the sacrifice works. That was close. Watch how close they come to banging their noggins. Castillo saying, "I'll take it," but Godley insisted on making the play. Castillo a little shaken up. All right, second and third. Nice job by Maeda to get the bunt down. Here's Utley, grounded out, struck out, singled, rode home on Corey Seager's home run. Infield is up. High chopper, short hop, backhanded by Segura to make the out. Nice play. 2 down, runners holding.
Shortstop, number 5.
And here comes Corey Seager. Corey is in search of a cycle. He started off with a single in the first inning. Then in the 4th inning, he went the other way and doubled to right. And then in 5th inning, unloaded the home run into left field. So if he somehow can come up with a triple, the last Dodger to have a cycle is watching the game. Orlando Hudson, yeah. In the dirt, nice block by Castillo. 1 ball and no strikes. Orlando Hudson hit for the cycle. There he is, standing up. He hit it opening day. What a way to break in with the Dodgers. And that's low, ball 2. 2-0 to Corey. First base open, but then you get Turner. What made it very sweet that day that Orlando hit for the cycle here, it was against the Giants. So if you're a new Dodger, you can't do much better than that. 2-1. That was April of 2009. 2-1 to Corey. I don't think with the score and everything else that Dave Roberts would handcuff him. I'm sure if he likes it, he's swinging 2-1, 3-1. So let's see. All right. 2-2. Dodgers 8 runs, 9 hits. The Diamondbacks, one little murmur of protest, a single by Gene Segura in the first inning. 2-2. Earlier I was reminded of the play on names. We had Yasmani the hitter, Yasmani the catcher. Little ground ball to first for the 3rd out. We forgot you had 2 Yaz's and a Laz. Yes, the plate umpire, Laz Diaz. And with that little nugget, for a leadoff single and then retires 18 in a row. And here's Owings, 3rd time around, and probably bangs it into right field. So the leadoff single by Owings snaps that string at 18.
Center fielder A.J. Pollock.
And the batter is A.J. Pollock, who has struck out and tapped one out in the plate, was thrown out by Grandal. On deck, Paul Goldschmidt. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Lewis Coleman gets up. Maeda is not built to be a workhorse. He's not built to stay in a game and go 120 or that much, though he is now at 88. But he's gotten them into the 7th inning. 1 ball and no strikes. Two and 0. Shelby Miller and Ross Stripling tomorrow night at 7:10. The concluding game, Robbie Ray and Brock Stewart. That's a strike. Pollock looking for a base hit. Goldschmidt on deck. Dodgers sitting on top of an 8-0 lead. 5 home runs and a double. And a fly ball. Coming up for it is Kendrick. So a 1-out fly ball to left brings up Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie hit into a force play and struck out. Pretty tough when you're asked to pretty much carry the offensive load. He's hitting .297, 20 home runs, but he's having a definite off year against the Dodgers. Finally, going back to 2012, he hit .352. The next year, .388, and then in 2014 hit .259. But then he came right back last year and hit an unbelievable .397. And now this year, down to .220. So 3 of 5 years, he's had huge offensive marks against the Dodgers, and 2 down years, 1-1. This could be the last inning for Maeda. He's getting up to 100 pitches. Honeycutt watching him carefully. And looking at Maeda's work in the past, his high going back, way back when he was still very strong early in June, 107. Last game he made 88 pitches. Game before, 103. 3-2. So he could be pushing it right about now. You get into September, the grind is really just starting, because from now on you're pushing yourself. As they all say, no one's 100%. By this time they're all a little banged up at least. And ball 4. So Dave Roberts a little restless, checking his notes, left-handing the numbers. 97 pitches. First walk, well, that could be a sign of fatigue. Honeycutt's on the edge as well. One out, 7th inning, 2 on. Dodgers lead 8-0. Jake Lamb grounded out and fouled out, 0 for 2. Maeda now taking a little extra time. And ball 1. For Maeda, tonight is his 27th start. One and one. In the inning, Owing single to right, Pollock flied to left, Goldschmidt walked, and here's Lamb. Two and one. So he's right there now. 100 pitches, the most in any game this year. 107. Dodgers are rooting for him not to have to make many more pitches to get out of the inning. Then he'd be out of the game. 2 and 1. Two balls, 2 strikes on Jake Lamb. 1 out. We're in the 7th inning. Dodgers breezing right now, 8-0. And big chopper to the hole by the diving Utley. Up with his Reddick. Here comes the run to the plate to score, and it becomes 8-1. So it's pretty obvious now that Maeda is hanging on. But with that big lead, will they go out and get him or not? Honeycutt's going to check to see if the bullpen is ready. And now Dave says that's enough. You have given us a great ride, Kenta, but it's time for you to ride off into the sunlight. Great performance by Kenta Maeda. At one stage, after giving up a hit, he retired 18 in a row. There's a combination. We talking to Maeda. I guess baseball is the universal language. Ball 1. Castilla struck out, grounded out, 0 for 2. On deck, Yasmani Tomas. 8 runs, 9 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 3 hits for the D-backs. Coleman out of Greenwood, Mississippi, dropping that arm sidearm. 1-1 to Castillo. The big story tonight is not just what the Dodgers do, it's against whom they've done it. And that would be Zach Greinke. A little low, ball 2. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Jesse Chavez, the right-hander, Luis Avilan, the left-hander, and there are the cast of culprits: Gonzalez and Peterson and Seager and Turner and Grandal. 5 home runs against one of the top pitchers in the game, Zach Greinke. So the pen is getting ready. 1 out, 2-1. The runners at second for Goldschmidt and at first Lamb. There was a remarkable pitcher years ago with the Cincinnati Reds named Ewell Blackwell, and you saw Coleman drop his arm and come sidearm inside to Castillo. Ewell Blackwell was absolutely terrifying in times for a right-hand batter. Foul ball. How do I know that? Pee Wee Reese once told me about Ewell Blackwell, and he said he's the only pitcher I ever saw whom I feared. So if Pee Wee feared him, he was pretty terrifying. 3-2, 1 out. First and second, Dodgers breezing for the moment, 8-1. And that's going to be hit foul. Adrian coming over, might have a play, and does. So Castillo fouls out, and Yasmani Tomas coming up.
Right fielder Yasmani Tomas.
Tomas flied to left, grounded to second, 0 for 2. There's that wonderful combination now. Yaz and Laz. Two out, 8-1 Dodgers, 7th inning, 1 run in, 2 on. Hit in the air to right field, going back and over to his left is Reddick. That'll be that. So 1 run, 2 hits and a walk, and 2 left. And at the end of 6 1/2, 8-1 Dodgers. 8-1 Dodgers. Ball 1. Our good pal John Lowe had sent the original note about the Giants on the road trip. In their 5 straight games, they had 3 hits in 3 of the games, 4 hits in 1 game, and 2 hit today. For the Giants in the modern era, the team has been held to 4 or fewer hits in 5 straight games. Unbelievable. First time. And of course, what's really maddening, if you draw blanks in Colorado, you are really in trouble. And John tells us the Giants managed to hit 4 balls out of the infield. I don't think I've ever seen a team do what the Giants are doing. They were the best team in baseball going to the All-Star game, 57-33. And they are the worst team in baseball after the All-Star break. Amazing. 1 away in the 7th. Here's Adrian, grounded out. Got a pitch up above the letters. I don't think he'll hit that pitch very often, but he's such a good hitter. He will hit it once in a while, and he hit that home run with Seager aboard. Right. But I had the feeling when Greinke made the pitch, he thought he made a pretty good pitch up on the left-hand hitter. One ball and 1 strike. 8 runs, 9 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 3 hits for the Diamondbacks. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Sinker missing. 2-1. Greinke, Rocco Gottlieb. Low again. Yasmani Grandal on deck. Three and 1. 3-2. Take a look at Gonzalez's home run, especially the location up there. Just enough to get it 3 rows into the stands, and that seemed to ignite the fire. The next inning, the real explosion. Peterson, Seager, Turner, and Grandal. And he goes after one in the dirt. So 2 out, 2 strikeouts for Godley. Zachary Thomas Godley by name. The pride of Bamberg, South Carolina. Yasmani struck out, popped up, and homered. Ball 1. It's a great thing to have a switch hitting catcher. But boy, when you have a switch hitting catcher who hits the way he hits, 24 home runs. One ball, one strike, 2 down, 7th inning. Dodgers leading 8-1. Ground ball to the middleman. That's Segura. No, that's the 3rd out. Nice inning for Godley. 3rd time. 8-1 Dodgers. We go to the 8th inning. Jesse Chavez coming in to face Socrates Brito. We will see about a hitter for Godley, and that'll be Phil Goslin. So Brito, Goslin, and Segura. Brito struck out twice, so he's 0 for 2. Ball 1. Interesting how the Diamondbacks have played with or without Brito. With him, he played in 14 games prior to tonight, and they were 10-4. Without him, there's 122 games. They were 48-76. 2-0. Ball 3. Eight runs, 9 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 3 hits for Arizona. Chavez walking the first man here in the 8th inning. We have the paid attendance on this Labor Day. 41,820. 41,820, and Phil Goslin coming up. Phil hitting .258, 1 home run, 5 RBIs. Oh and 1. Goslin's from Westchester, Pennsylvania. Originally a 5th-round pick by the Braves. Went to school at the University of Virginia. Played with the Braves a couple of years. Little ground ball to short. Seager quickly to Utley, and that's it. So it's a force play, 1 out in the 8th, and Segura coming up.
Second baseman number 2, Gene Segura.
Gene Segura singled in the 1st inning, and Arizona was not heard from again. 18 consecutive outs until Chris Owings opened up the 7th inning with a single, and by that time the game was long out of control. And ball 1. Segura hitting .320, a really good hitter. And probably drives it to center right into Peterson's glove. Whoa, the bottom dropped out of that thing. Yeah, Peterson gesturing to Kendrick how that ball suddenly sunk.
Shortstop number 16, Chris
Looks
Owings.
like an easy routine play, and then look out. Yeah, bring you to your knees. He looked that ball right into the glove. Nice play. And a smile to Kendrick, who's all over him, I'm sure. Chris Owings struck out, fly to center, single to right, 1 for 3. Fastball misses. On deck, A.J. Pollock. To repeat, Shelby Miller tomorrow night against Ross Stripling. Robbie Ray, the final game against Brock Stewart. Dodgers have won 7 of 12, so this figures to give them 8 of 13 with a lot of games left with Arizona. Ball 3. Dodgers with Maeda for 6 1/3. He made 102 pitches. Coleman got 2 outs. Now Chavez working the 8th. 3-0 in there. The bullpens are active. Enrique Burgos warming up for Arizona. J.P. Howell for the Dodgers. There's Burgos. 3-1. Fouled away. 3-2. 41,820. Hopefully have taken Labor Day off. Three and two. Runner goes. Ball is hit towards left center, and it's going to go to the wall. So here comes Goslin. He will score on a long double by Owings, and that makes it 8-2 Dodgers with 2 out in the 8th inning.
Center fielder number 11, A.J. Pollock.
So A.J. Pollock coming in. Meanwhile, Rick Honeycutt up the steps. He's going to go out and talk to Chavez, who walked Brito, got an out, then got a fly ball out, then gave up the double, and now facing A.J. Pollock. Struck out, tapped out in front of the plate, flied to left. A.J. 0 for 3. 8-2 in favor of the Dodgers. 2 out in the 8th inning. Pollock busy talking to Laz Diaz. Chavez and Utley exchange a few words, and we're about ready. One of those interesting things, how fellas actually have an incorrect so-called nickname. Pollock is always called and referred to as A.J. Pollock, but his name is Alan Lorenz Pollock, so he should be A.L. Pollock, but he's not. Late on that good fastball, 0-2. Of course, when the Dodgers had a wonderful guy, Kenny Landreau. Kenny Landreau was KT Landreau. And one day in spring training in the clubhouse, somebody said, "Hey, KT, what's your middle name?" And Ken said, it began with an A. Oh and 2. 1 and 2. Yeah, Kenneth Antoine Landreau, better known as KT. Okay. 1 and 2 to Pollock. A good player by any other name. Trying to pick up Owings from second base. 2 and 2. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 8th, Reddick, Kendrick, and Peterson. Dodgers with 5 home runs and a double tonight. Toss in a couple of walks. High fly ball, shallow center. It's Peterson's play. And that would be that. So the Diamondbacks. Bottom of the 8th inning, 8-2 in favor of the Dodgers. 1 ball and no strikes. Enrique Burgos. (8-2) Dodgers. Reddick has fly to center, grounded out, lined out to left. Check swing. Two balls, no strikes. And that's hammered to center on his horse is Pollock. And this is going to be off the wall. Reddick with great speed breezes into second base. So Reddick, a line drive double to go 1 for 4. Boy, he really jumped on that pitch. Fastball just above the knees out over the plate. If you're a pitcher, liable to get killed with that pitch. Enrique Burgos, he's from Panama. And Reddick has just roughed him up with a double. Enrique is a big man, 6'4", at least 200. 26 years old. Originally signed by the Diamondbacks in '07. Here's Howie Kendrick. Ball 1. Kendrick struck out, grounded out, and walked. For Kendrick, who had that 4 hit the other night, he is the one player right now without a hit. 0 for 2. Two and 1. Burgos' dad pitched briefly in the major leagues. And young Enrique grew up playing soccer. Finally moved over to baseball. He wanted to follow in the footsteps of his countryman, Mariano Rivera. 2 and 1. 2 and 2. Fastball, slider, and a changeup. Runner at second, Reddick, nobody out in the 8th. When the Diamondbacks come up in the 9th, they'll have Goldschmidt, Lamb, and Castillo. Josh Raven down in the pen, 2 and 2. Fastball slapped foul down the line. So barring an unusual set of circumstances, the Dodgers figure to go to bed tonight, leading the Giants by 4. Well, Maeda had a 4-game winning streak, and he lost to the Rockies 8-1. Tonight, he's leading 8-2. Two balls and 2 strikes to Howie Kendrick. Fastball at 98. Wow. They said that of late they referred to it as a bump up in velocity. Boy, that's some bump up to get to 98. Of course, he's big, 6'4", and over 200. Time for the moment. Dodgers 8 runs, 10 hits, 5 home runs, a double. That's a little low, ball 3. Diamondbacks 2 runs and 4 hits. Scored a run in the 7th and a run in the 8th. Jock Peterson waiting on deck. Struck out, walked, and homered. Fastball. Still 3-2. Again, repeat. Shelby Miller tomorrow night against Ross Strickland at 7:10. Robbie Ray and Brock Stewart Wednesday at 7:10. And then the Dodgers go out on that long road trip. They'll go to Miami for the weekend. That'll be highlighted by Clayton Kershaw going to the mound. Then 3 games at Yankee Stadium and 4 games in Arizona. Anytime you can go to Yankee Stadium, that gives the road trip a little extra lift. High fastball for ball 4. Whoa, he got it to 99, but it was ball 4.
Center fielder number 31, Jock Peterson.
Two on, nobody out. Peterson followed by the pitcher spot, which will be filled in by Andrew Tolles. Fastball strike, 0-1. So it's been Greinke for 4 2/3, and then Bracco, Godley, and Burgess. 2 on, nobody out. Reddick at second, Kendrick at first. Good fastball, 0-2. And he got back up to 98. He's had 1 pitch at 99, but it was ball 4. Two 2-0 to Jock. .99, but way out of the zone. Peterson hitting his 20th home run. That was back in that explosion in the 5th inning. One ball and 2 strikes. Little roller. Burgos down to pick it up. He'll go to the bag, then flip it. Goldsmith has it. So that moves the runners along to second and third. And Andrew Toles will be coming up. Andrew Toles hitting .377 over the last 11 games, just out of sight. 12 runs batted in. And of course, remember, he had that grand slam home run when he hit to the opposite field in Colorado. Infield is up, first base open, 1 out. Whoa, that thing almost went to the backstop. He's throwing hard, but 98 and 99, but he has not thrown a strike at those high numbers. He gets strikes when he's throwing 90 and 91. One ball and no strikes, Andrew. One and one. Toles has really been remarkable. He's only had 61 at-bats prior to tonight. He's listed at about 5'10", maybe 5'9". 1-1. Boy, he's throwing hard, 99. Andrew couldn't catch up to that one. It was also, I think, out of the strike zone. So Burgos trying to muscle his way out of the spot. Waiting on deck, Chase Utley. Whoa. He just went after him, 99. So you come off the bench, it's tough enough to hit. But come off the bench and get 98 and 99 mile an hour fastball.
Number 26, Chase Utley.
2 down. Here's Chase Utley, grounded out, struck out, single, came home on Seager's home run, and grounded out. Second and third, first base open, and on deck, Corey Seager. Reddick and Kendrick out on the lines, 2 out. Oh, 1. To repeat, when the Diamondbacks come up in the 9th inning, Goldsmith, Lamb, and Castillo. Goldie is 0 for 2 with a walk. Lamb is 1 for 3. Castillo 0 for 3. Time. When Utley steps into the box, he looks like the most relaxed hitter in the world. The way he holds the bat, just waiting for the pitcher. Look at that. One hand on the bat. 2 hands, 1 hand, finally locked in. 0-1. And to the backstop, here comes the 9th run. Taking third is Kendrick. Reddick brought it in. And the Dodgers lead 9-2. So the wild pitch gives the Dodgers a gift. In the dirt under the glove and all the way to the backstop. So no play on Josh. Nine runs, 10 hits for the Dodgers. 2 runs 4 hits for the D-backs. Now you have Kendrick down the line. 2-1. See if Chase goes through that same deliberate maneuver. One hand off. Now he's ready. 2-1. And ball 3. Randall Delgado begins to warm up in the bullpen. I was just thinking, I was looking up for the minute. Arizona has played better on the road than at home. That's a very expensive proposition. Line drive, base hit, and the Dodgers lead 10-2. The expensive proposition when you lose at home, the people don't come to see you. Now the Dodgers are averaging over 45,000 a game. So I just looked it up. Arizona is drawing 24,000. That puts a lot of pressure on a lot of people, not just the wins and losses. So for Chip Hale going out to talk to Burgos, who was given a double, a walk, wild pitch, and another base hit. Meanwhile, Adrian talking to Howie Kendrick. One reason I'm sure he's talking to him, and Howie doesn't need a lift, but he's laughing. Kendrick is the only one without a hit. He's 0 for 2. He has walked twice, and he has scored a run. So everybody in the lineup has scored a run. Seager has scored twice. Everybody in the lineup has a base hit except Kendrick. So it's 10-2 Dodgers. Seager looking for a triple. Remember, he has single, double, and home run. Ground foul. Boy, close. 0-1. I tell you, you look where Tomas is. Tomas playing over in right field, pretty much giving Seager straightaway right. And that ball almost got fair on the line. Had it gone down the line, well, the door would have been open for a triple. 0-1. 1-1. Of course, you talk about Seager looking for a cycle. At his age, he's going to have a lot of years to perhaps get one. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1. Justin Turner waiting on deck. 2 out, 2-1 to Seager. Two and 2. Well, Burgos, there he is up there throwing 98 again. He's hit several 99s. Struck out Toles with a 99 fastball. He's already made 30 pitches, however. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Utley at first, 2 runs in. Dodgers lead 10-2, and that's ball 3. Tough night for a catcher, watching all those runs come home and all those base hits, and catching 4 pitchers. And I'm sure Wellington is shocked as everybody else as what happened to Zach Greinke. 3-2 the count to Corey Seager. Runner goes, ground ball. Segura makes the play, and mercifully that's the end of the 8th inning, but the Dodgers get 2 more. Not that they need them. At the end of 8, they lead 10-2. Well, aren't you nice with the 4 details? Well, the Dodgers make a lot of changes. Josh Raven is going to be asked to get 3 outs and end this thing. Charlie Culberson is going to finish up at short. Austin Barnes will play second. Rob Segedin will take over at first. The outfield looks like it remains the same. Kendrick, Peterson, and Reddick. Checking left field, Andrew Toles had pinch hit, but he did not come in. Howie's still there. Paul Goldschmidt hit into a force play, struck out, and walked. Fastball in for a strike, 0-1. Josh Raven facing Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie 0 for 2 with a walk. Jake Lamb on deck. 0-2. Raven is a big man standing on that mound. He's actually bigger than Goldschmidt. He's 6'5", weighs in about 210. 28 years old, born in West Hills. 1-2, and he hits 98 on the gun. Josh was originally signed by the Reds, went to Chatsworth High. Josh has spent a lot of years in the minor leagues, but he comes up to strike out Goldschmidt. 1 out in the 9th. Jake Lamb grounded out, fouled out, single to right. And a strike, 0-1. On deck, Wellington Castillo, the catcher. Tomorrow night, Shelby Miller and Ross Strickland. That'll be 7:10. 1 ball and 1 strike. Josh Raven has certainly paid a price. He's labored long and hard. Started off in 2008, and the first time he had a look at the big leagues was 2015. So that's 8 years down there. He was in a couple of games for the Dodgers last year. Now another chance, another look, another hope. 2-1. Three and 1 the count. Well, he struck out Goldschmidt. Now trying to get Lamb. Turner all alone on the left side. Normally Seager's over there. That's ball 4. So Raven gives up the walk, and Wellington Castillo coming up. 1 out, 9th inning. The Dodgers 11 hits, 5 of them home runs. And all 5 against Greinke, which is really a major part of the story. But it shows you, down through the years, they'll say even homer nods, even the good ones stumble. That's a strike. Castillo struck out, grounded out, fouled out. Whoa, breaking ball. After all those fastballs, he sends Castillo down on his knee. That's a mandatory 9 count. Fooled. Down you go. That's a genuflection on a great breaking ball. 0-2. Dodgers have that long road trip, and they are not a particularly great road trip. Dave's club has won 32 on the road, but they've lost 33. There's a chopper down, no further play. So Castillo hits over to Chase Utley's position, where Austin Barnes is, and with 2 down, Yasmani Tomas coming up. Tomas flied to left, grounded out, flied out again, 0 for 3. Fastball, this ought to do it. Reddick is right there and puts it away. So the Dodgers win it, and of course the home runs are the glamour, but they are now 4 games in front of the Giants, and they got a masterpiece from Kenta Maeda and some great work with the bat. 5 home runs, all against Zach Greinke. So for Kenta Maeda, who pitched the gem, he is our player of the game, but it was a team effort all the way as Maeda